So translating sentences into equations is exactly what you've already started with. You guys yesterday were translating sentences, words into symbols. So more than, less than, or the sum of, or the difference of, things like that is what you guys did. So I'm going to go through several of these with you to try and give you some help. This is my sample. Wow. That's going to be rough. Okay. 3 times the sum of a number and 2 is 36. So this is where Lee's parentheses would come in. When they say the sum of a number and 2, or the difference of a number and 2, those things are going to be grouped together. Okay? But it's 3 times that sum. Okay? The item there, 3 times the sum of a number and 2, is 36. Okay? You could all probably solve it from here if I asked you to, but we're not going to. We're just kind of following along here. Here is another example that's sort of similar to that. Okay. Notice how it is not saying the sum of a number and 2. You notice the difference? And I used a different is, but 3 times, it doesn't say 3 times the sum of a number and 2, it just says 3 times a number and 2. So 3 times a number is 3n. Okay? And 2 is simply floating out there. Okay? 3 times a number and 2. So when we did the and, you were adding 2 to whatever the product of 3 and the number is. Okay? So notice the difference between these two items. This one required parenthesing that because it specified that those were together, and this one didn't. That's example 1. Okay. Example 2, this is mine. Continuing to just use my samples. Example 2 says, if a number is decreased by 5 and the result is multiplied by 2, then the result is 26. All right? So first, let's do this. A number decreased by 5. Give me that. Give me what you think that would be, Kat. A number decreased by 5. Yep. Bravo. N minus 5. If the result of this is multiplied by 2, that means we have to take this whole thing and multiply it by 2. So you see how the way they said it was a little bit different than the first one we did, but it ended up looking the same. The result is 26. Okay? Okay, here's another one. The the result of a number and 6 is, hold on, I gotta think it through, hold on. Hang on a minute. Is, all right, is 10 more than the, 12 more, make that 12. More than the number. I'm making this one up because they didn't have one like this, but I want you to see it. The result of a number and 6. Let's say that. Lizzie, how would you say a number and 6? A number and 6. N plus 6 is is 12 more than the number. By the way, this would never be true in any known universe, but you're going to start to see things like that. The result of a number and 6 is 12 more than the number. But if I did the result of a number, how about the product of a number and 6? I could make that work. I could find an answer to that. But this one, no way. This one would just come up with a decimal of some sort. So the result would look like that. The product would look like that. So you could see the difference there. Last one, example 3. 3 less than the number is 12 is their example. Here's my example. Here's my example 3. Three fewer than a number is 44. I could also say equals. 3 fewer than a number is 44. How might I say 3 fewer than a number, Lee?
3 n minus 3.
Yep, I'm glad you changed it because you would have been wrong if you said 3 minus n. It doesn't say a number smaller than 3, it says 3 smaller than a number. Is 44. Okay? That's it, folks. In a nutshell, that's today's lesson. And so, you're doing only the first 10 problems of the oral there on page 20.